Welcome to Pennywise Books, where we turn timeless books into rich, engaging conversations that feed your mind. If you've ever wished for full book value with zero reading, you're exactly where you need to be. Settle in. Today's book might just unlock a new way of seeing money. And if you find this useful, insightful, or even just a little inspiring, go ahead and subscribe. It helps more curious minds find us too. Let's dive in.
Have you ever wished for a straightforward guide to making better decisions, achieving your goals, and simply living a more effective life?
Yeah.
We all navigate this constant torrent of choices and information, right? Often feeling overwhelmed by the what-ifs and maybe the if-onlys.
Absolutely. It can feel like you're just reacting all the time.
Exactly. But what if there existed a set of universal truths, like an operating manual for life and work? Something distilled from decades of real-world struggle and, well, monumental success.
That's precisely the fascinating territory we're exploring today. Our deep dive is into the foundational work of Ray Dalio.
The investor behind Bridgewater Associates.
That's the one. His seminal book, Principles, Life and Work, offers this profoundly practical philosophy born from his intensely personal journey. And he really aims to empower others. He states it clearly. It's up to you to decide how valuable they really are and what, if anything, you want to do with them.
Right, so our mission in this deep dive is to extract those powerful nuggets of knowledge, not just to understand them, but to grasp how these principles can fundamentally transform your approach to everything.
From personal challenges right through to professional excellence.
Yeah, get ready for some serious mental upgrades, hopefully. Okay, let's unpack this core idea then. Dalio starts by defining principles as, well, fundamental truths that serve as the foundations for behavior that gets you what you want out of life.
Right. And he stresses they're not just abstract ideals.
No, they're repeatable tools for navigating reality, a consistent framework you can apply again and again. But here's the kicker. His very first overarching principle is to think for yourself to decide 1, what you want, 2, what is true, and 3, what you should do to achieve #1 in light of #2.
Okay.
And he adds, crucially, you must do it with humility and open-mindedness so that you consider the best thinking available to you.
That sounds straightforward enough on the surface.
It does. But how do you truly overcome your own internal biases, your ego? How do you genuinely consider the best thinking when your mind is, naturally wired to prefer its own ideas?
Well, that's the core struggle Dalio identifies, isn't it? He views these principles as essential for understanding these timeless and universal cause-effect relationships.
Okay.
But actually applying them means constantly battling what he calls our 2 biggest barriers.
That way you are.
Our ego and our blind spots. Our ego simply wants to be right,
We all know that feeling.
And our blind spots literally prevent us from even seeing our own errors sometimes.
Right.
So that humility he talks about, it isn't just a nice-to-have virtue. It's a non-negotiable prerequisite to even perceive what's true in the first place.
So it's about rigorously testing your own assumptions, almost scientifically.
Exactly.
And it's not just about those grand strategic life decisions either, is it? He argues these principles shape countless small interactions every single day.
That's right. He highlights their profound role in relationships, noting that people who have shared values and principles get along. Makes sense.
Yeah, and people who don't will suffer through constant misunderstandings. So clarifying your own foundational truths isn't just for personal success, it seems. It can significantly improve the harmony and understanding in your everyday connections, too.
It's like designing your operating system for yourself and how you interact with others.
Yeah, I like that analogy. Now, Dalio famously views his entire life as a kind of game. He says, each problem I face is a puzzle I need to solve.
And by successfully solving these puzzles, he says, you don't just move on. You gain a gem in the form of a principle to prevent similar issues in the future.
Right, building up that toolkit. He stresses that the key to success lies in knowing how to both strive for a lot and fail well.
Fail well. That's interesting phrasing.
It is. It means not just tolerating painful failures, but actively seeking the learning embedded within them without letting them, knock you out of the game.
Which leads to his powerful equation: pain plus reflection, progress.
Love that. So simple, so profound.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Dalio describes this as a continuous evolutionary cycle. Individuals, organizations constantly adapting.
Okay.
And he translates this into a really pragmatic 5-step process for achieving your goals. And honestly, each step has profound implications if you truly embrace it.
All right, let's hear them. Step 1.
Step 1, have clear goals. Sounds obvious, right?
Yeah, seems basic.
But Dalio says most people aren't truly clear. You have to prioritize what you want most and really recognize you can't have everything. It demands a brutal honesty about the trade-offs.
Okay, that makes sense. What's step 2?
Step 2, identify problems. Don't tolerate them. Don't dance around them. Be specific.
So face them head on.
Exactly. Is it an inadequate skill? Then train. Is it an innate weakness? Maybe seek help or even change your role. The critical part is confronting them directly, dispassionately.
Okay, step 3.
3, diagnose problems to get at their root causes. Now, this is where he says most people falter.
Why is that?
We're wired to jump straight to solutions. Dalio insists you must distinguish proximate causes, like the immediate thing that happened.
Like, I missed the train because I didn't check the schedule.
Right, that's the proximate cause. You need to get to the root cause. Why did that happen?
So like, I didn't check the schedule because I am habitually forgetful.
Oh.
Or maybe I prioritize other tasks poorly.
Precisely. And the real insight here is, unless you're willing to confront those uncomfortable truths about yourself or maybe your systems...
It's just doomed to repeat the same problems. Over and over.
Exactly. It demands an almost surgical level of self-honesty to trace issues back to their fundamental design flaws, personal or organizational.
That requires real discipline. Okay, step 4.
4, design a plan. Visualize what needs to be done. He emphasizes designing precedes doing.
It's the blueprint. So many people skip this, I think. Assume action alone is enough.
Right, but without a plan, execution just becomes chaotic.
Makes sense. And the last one, step 5.
5, push through to completion. Execution is vital. Establish clear metrics, ensure follow-through. And remember, weaknesses, he notes, don't matter if you find solutions.
So you either fix them or get help.
Yeah. What Dalio suggests is that consistently following these 5 steps is almost, well, countercultural in its discipline.
Here's where it gets really interesting and personal for Dalio, isn't it? He learned this painful lesson firsthand.
Oh, yeah. 1982, that famous prediction.
He was dead wrong about a major economic prediction. Bridgewater almost collapsed. He actually shares that it was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Wow.
Because it gave me the humility I needed to balance my aggressiveness.
That's a powerful reframe of a failure.
Isn't it? He describes this profound internal shift, moving from thinking I'm right to constantly asking, how do I know I'm right?
That question changes everything.
It really does. And it wasn't just a personal revelation. It became the catalyst for systematically building a culture at Bridgewater where challenging assumptions, seeking truth was paramount, even if it meant, painful self-reflection.
A culture of constructive challenge.
Exactly. So if that kind of humility and radical honesty is critical, how do we actually acquire it? As we touched on, Dalio identifies our ego, that deep-seated need to be right, and our blind spots. The areas where our thinking is flawed or incomplete as the 2 primary barriers to good decision-making.
Right.
He champions radical open-mindedness as the antidote, reframing it as replacing your attachment to always being right with the joy of learning what's true.
I love that phrase, the joy of learning what's true.
Me too.
Yeah.
But practically, how do you genuinely worry that you might not be seeing your choices optimally? What does that truly entail in practice?
That's a critical point because it's not just some vague aspiration for him. Dalio breaks down radical open-mindedness into very specific practices.
Okay, like what?
It's the ability to effectively explore different points of view without letting your ego or blind spots hijack the process. He champions what he calls the art of thoughtful disagreement.
Thoughtful disagreement. So the goal isn't to convince others you're right?
No, the goal is to find out which view is true. Together.
How do you do that?
You approach with genuine questions to understand, rather than just statements to assert your own view. And crucially, to navigate conflicting opinions, he introduces believability weighting.
Ah, right. Giving more weight to the opinions of believable people.
Exactly. Individuals who have repeatedly and successfully accomplished the thing in question. He even gives a rough metric, at least 3 successes.
And crucially,
they can provide great explanations of their approach when probed. It's not enough just to have been successful. They need to understand why.
Okay, but does Dalio address the potential pitfalls here?
Yeah.
Like, how do you identify believable people in really new or rapidly changing fields where past experience might be less relevant?
That's a fair challenge.
Or the risk of groupthink if everyone just defers to the same few believable voices?
He does acknowledge those complexities. While experience is key, he really stresses that ability to explain why something works. It's about the underlying logic, the principles, not just the track record.
So the quality of the reason.
Yes. He believes that process, when rigorously applied, helps transcend those pitfalls. And he shares this incredibly powerful personal anecdote that illustrates it.
Oh, yeah.
In 2013, he received a really scary diagnosis for a precancerous condition, basically a likely death sentence.
Wow.
Instead of just accepting that first opinion, he actively sought out and triangulated opinions from 5 different world-class experts.
My God.
The initial diagnosis suggested severe surgery with high risks, but a third doctor proposed just simple, regular monitoring.
A very different approach.
Totally different. And ultimately, after further analysis, it turned out there was no high-grade dysplasia at all.
No way.
He reflected, had I not pushed for other opinions, my life would have taken a very different course.
That's profound. A lesson in trusting the process of thoughtful disagreement and that believability waiting, even when it's literally your life on the line.
It's not about being stubborn, right? It's about being rigorous in pursuit of the truth.
Right. Okay, so we've talked about personal transformation through principles, but Dalio also applied this intensely personal philosophy to building his company, Bridgewater. How did this commitment to understanding how things work translate into his, well, pretty unique approach to managing people and organizations? He famously says the WHO is more important than the what.
Right. And early in Bridgewater, he realized that simply hiring for book smarts didn't guarantee success. People were just wired very differently.
How so?
Some were highly conceptual, big-picture thinkers. Others were very literal, detail-oriented. Some extroverted, others introverted, all the usual variations. But he saw the impact.
Which was?
Often it led to gridlock. People literally thinking their colleagues were blind, stubborn, or just plain stupid because they processed information so differently.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Conceptual people struggling to connect with literal thinkers, projects stalling.
Exactly. Frustration all around. What's fascinating here is his innovative approach to solving this intractable people problem.
What did he do?
He realized these differences weren't flaws, they were design elements. Inspired by a psychologist who tested his own kids, Dalio developed a system using psychometric tests like Myers-Briggs and others.
Okay.
This led to creating baseball cards for employees.
Baseball cards. Seriously, like with stats.
Pretty much. Just like a player's card compiles performance data, these cards compiled objective data on each person's attributes, things like conceptual, reliable, creative, determined, alongside personality traits.
Huh. What was the insight there?
The profound insight was how it objectified subjective perceptions of colleagues. It moved towards a truly meritocratic and, frankly, more efficient allocation of talent.
So everyone could understand each other's strengths and weaknesses objectively.
Yes. Allowing for much better role matching and team orchestration. He even defines archetypes, like the shaper.
What to shaper?
He defines it as visionary plus practical thinker plus determined. A rare combo he found essential for actually building unique visions and driving them to fruition. It's about designing a truly complementary machine.
And he gives an example, right? That bond systemization project.
He does. It was stalled because Bob Prince, who he describes as a brilliant conceptual thinker, was struggling to connect with the more literal team members.
Okay.
Using their baseball cards, they quickly saw the team lacked members who could bridge that gap between the big ideas and the concrete tasks needed.
So they could pinpoint the missing wiring.
Exactly. By bringing in a new deputy with strong, independent, and systematic thinking, and a project manager focused specifically on details and deadlines,
Let me guess.
the project really started to hum, as he put it.
It just highlights how understanding that individual wiring helps you build a complementary team where people play to their strengths instead of constantly battling their differences.
Precisely.
And Dalio took this machine analogy even further, didn't he? To its logical extreme, advocating for systemizing decision-making.
Yeah, converting principles into algorithms. At Bridgewater, he created investment systems that acted like an EKG on the economy's vital signs, automatically changing positions as conditions shifted.
He found computers were just better at some things.
Much better, he said, than his brain in thinking about many things at once. More precise, rapid, and definitely less emotional.
He even sent clients inexpensive chess computers.
He did, to illustrate the power of algorithmic thinking and what he called the great partnership possible between humans and machines.
So what's the fundamental shift in thinking there? From personal principles to algorithms, is it just about efficiency?
It's about transcending human limitations, I think, but crucially, not replacing human ingenuity. Dalio firmly believes the right people working with each other and with computers are the key to success.
So it's a team effort, humans and AI.
Exactly. Humans excel at imagination, synthesis, creativity, things honed by millions of years of evolution. Computers offer unparalleled determination, as he calls it, working 24/7, plus information processing and reliability.
But this raises a really important question, especially now. How do we use AI wisely?
Dalio explores this deeply. He cautions strongly against trusting AI without having deep understanding.
Especially when algorithms are just based on data mining without identifying true cause-effect relationships.
Exactly that. He gives that example. A computer might conclude that waking up makes people hungry just because people wake up and then eat breakfast. It sees the correlation, not the cause.
Right. Common sense is missing.
So Dalio's specific guidance here is critical. Ensure algorithms are built on clearly articulated cause-effect principles, not just correlations. We need to actively design them to reflect the true rules of the game in whatever domain they're operating in.
Because a nuanced why behind the what is still a human advantage.
For now, yes. We need to understand the logic, not just trust the black box.
He envisions a future, though, where you could input an issue into a system.
And get guidance of a computerized system that weighs different points of view from the world's highest-rated thinkers. It's about transcending individual biases, unlocking this incredibly powerful form of collective thinking.
What's fascinating is his own introspection about it. He admits he's personally drawn to understanding cause-effect relationships deeply, but he's not sure if that preference is purely logical or maybe an upper-level instinct.
A true testament to living his own principles, right? Even questioning his own core preferences.
Absolutely. Wow. So we've journeyed through Ray Dalio's world of principles. We explored his definition of fundamental truths, that rigorous 5-step process for navigating challenges.
The profound power of radical open-mindedness and thoughtful disagreement.
The importance of understanding our different wirings in teams, those baseball cards.
And the transformative potential, but also the potential pitfalls of combining human and artificial intelligence.
His story is just such a powerful testament to embracing reality, systematically learning from every mistake, and continually evolving.
Yeah, he reminds us that our biggest barriers are often our own ego and blind spots. But practices like thoughtful disagreement and believability weighting, when applied with discipline, can lead to dramatically better outcomes.
Both professionally and personally.
Definitely.
And he poses that truly profound question that really sticks with you. Are you willing to fight to find out what's true?
That hits hard.
It does. And he sees life in 3 phases. Learning, then working, where others depend on you, and then being free to savor life and pass on your knowledge.
He's actively in that 3rd phase now, isn't he? Returning the boon of his wisdom to others.
He is. Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you, the listener. Think about your own journey. What personal boon are you cultivating? And what truths are you willing to fight for and eventually share?
And maybe consider how consistently you're applying that principle of pain plus reflection progress to shape your own unique evolving path.
And perhaps what insights your own personal baseball card might reveal about your unique wiring.